Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here, and as promised, now it's Friday the 13th, and here's my review of Friday the 13th Part 3. Yeah, this is the one exception to my Christmas reviews. Yeah, I told you guys before I wanted to do something special since it's Friday the 13th, and I figured I'd review another Friday the 13th movie. Yeah, I reviewed the first two movies when I made the horror movie reviews a couple months ago. So yeah, you haven't seen my reviews for the first two Friday the 13th movies, which you probably haven't, go check those out. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good movie, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to say that I like this more or less than the second movie, yeah. I enjoyed it more than the first, yeah. I don't know what it says about me, but so far, or the first movie has been the one I've least enjoyed. So yeah, I don't know what that says about me, but yeah. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty entertaining movie. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's not really too much else I can say about it. Just yeah, I did enjoy it. I give this about 3 stars out of 4. Yeah. Let me just get right into it. All right. So the movie opens with basically just showing how the second movie ended, with Jason being quote unquote killed by Ginny and Paul. Oh yeah, and it was just basically showing what had happened at the end of the second movie. Yeah, and then we had the opening credits, and then we cut to a couple that runs like some kind of small grocery shop or something. Something you know, from a couple named Edna and Harold. Edna's seeing on the news or whatever. There's a guy is reporting the deaths from the second movie, and Rick showed Ginny being stretchered. Yeah. And then she went out to check on the clothes on the clothesline, and she saw Jason walking by, but she didn't know it was him. She thought it was Harold. Then in the store, Harold found a bunny, and he was like taking some food off the shelves and eating it. And when he went to put the bunny back, he saw in a cage that there was actually a snake, and then he just ran off and looked like he was on the toilet. Toilet, yeah. And then, yeah, uh, eventually, then Harold gets a cleaver to the chest. That's by Jason. Yeah. And then Jason pierces Edna's head from the back with a needle point needle. Yeah. Yeah, a knitting needle. Let me say that. Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, Jason just gets 2 murders right there. Yeah. Then we cut to a group of teenagers, I guess I'll call them. Yeah. Some they're all just going to visit a cottage. Yeah, so it's Chris, Debbie, Andy, Shelley, Vera, Chili, and Chuck. Yeah, and yeah, while they're on the way, Chuck and Vera are like smoking pot. Yeah, and then the police are behind them, and then yeah, they want to destroy the evidence because they think the cops are going after them. So they start eating the pot, and then the cops pass them. Turns out it wasn't them. Yeah. Then they later on arrived at the cottage. And yeah, Chris was there with her boyfriend Rick. Yeah, and they're like putting stuff together or something. Yeah, and then they hear a scream. They go to check it out. Oh yeah, it turns out it's like Shelly with an axe in his face or something. Yeah, and there's blood there. and then he just goes down to the ground. But it turns out it was just a prank. I think Shelly was pulling, yeah. And then everyone just got angry, and they all left. Called him a couple names, said he was a jerk and an asshole. Well, yeah. And then Vera is taken off to the store. She takes Rick's car, and then Shelly goes with her. Yeah. And then at the store, or Vera and Shelly need to pay. And then they get approached by a few bikers. The bikers are just toying with them, yeah. And then, as Vera and Shelly are leaving, Shelly's the one driving, and he accidentally knocked over the bikers' motorcycles, yeah. And one of the bikers punches through the windshield and the driver's seat window, yeah. And then Shelly takes off, and then he comes back and runs over the motorcycle. Yeah. Michael, yeah. And then when they got back, Rick saw what happened to his car, and then he just decided to leave, and Chris went with him. Yep. And then as Andy and Debbie, I think it was, they wanted to go swimming, the bikers then decided to get back at them, and they sucked some gas out of the van, and then they were going to like set the barn on fire. Yeah, then they all just went into the barn, and then Jason killed all of them. All of them, yeah. And then later that night, Andy and Shelly were like having a contest to see who can juggle the longest. Yeah, and then Debbie then pretty much just tells Andy that she wants to have sex. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, later on, as Vera is just outside, around the lake or whatever, Shelly then scares her. He pulls another prank. He's wearing a hockey mask and carrying a harpoon gun. And yeah. Yeah, and then Vera just tells him that he's just being a jerk, and Shelly says it's better being a jerk than a nobody or whatever. Yeah. Then Shelly just like takes off, yep. And then Jilly and Chuck are like searching around because Chuck was trying to smoke again, like a toilet or something, and then the toilet, it was like a porta potty or something, and it started to shake, and Chuck and Chili went around to go see if there was anyone there. Yeah. And then Shelly ventured around the barn. He thought that Chuck and Chili may have been there. So he takes off into the barn. I'm trying to see him. And then we went back to Vera, yeah. And yeah, then we saw Jason. Oh, I forgot to mention before, yeah, sorry. This is the first movie where Jason actually starts wearing the hockey mask. Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have said this at the beginning, I'm sorry. Yeah, so, yeah, this is the first one where Jason actually wears the hockey mask. Okay, getting back to the story here, yeah. Vera then sees Jason, yeah. And Jason then shoots a harpoon at Vera, and the harpoon goes right through Vera's face, right where her eye is. So it just went right through her eye. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. And so yeah, obviously that killed Vera. Yeah. And then when Andy and Debbie are finished having sex, Debbie goes for a shower, and then Andy starts doing handstands. He asks Debbie if she wants a beer, And when he was walking down on his hands to go get beers, he then sees Jason, and Jason does God knows what to him. We didn't see what he did, but we saw blood going everywhere. Yeah. And then, after Debbie's shower, where she went on back over to the hammock where her and Andy were having sex in the first place, yeah. And she started reading a magazine, and then there was blood starting to drip onto it. Then she looked up and she saw Andy's body. And then Jason from behind slashed Debbie like right through the heart with a knife. Yeah. Yep. And then we saw Chris and Rick just like somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, and Chris was telling Rick about like a dream she had where there was someone who was Jason, just like trying to kill her or something. It was a dream she was having. Yeah. And then later on, Rick's car broke down, so Rick and Chris start to walk back to the cottage. Yeah. And then later on, Chili asked Chuck to go down to the cellar, and check on the power. Oh yeah. And then he was down there, and then Shelly then came to the door, and his throat was slashed. Ashton Chili just thought that it was another one of Shelly's pranks. Yeah. And then down in the cellar, or Chuck then saw Jason, and Jason threw Chuck into like the power box. And yeah, that electrocuted Chuck and killed him. Yeah. And then Chili then realized that Shelly wasn't pulling a prank and that really happened to him. And then she just started to freak out. And then Jason got a red hot fireplace poker. Yeah. And then he just then impaled Chili with it. Yeah. Yeah. Then Rick and Chris then arrived back at the cottage, and they saw everything that happened. Yeah, there was stuff burning. Yeah. Yeah, and they were just trying to find out who else was there, because the place was just a total wreck. Rick went outside to go check it out, and Chris went out after him. And then when she got outside, Jason was like really grabbing a hold of Rick, but yeah, Chris didn't see it. And then when Chris went back inside, Jason just squeezed Rick's head so hard that one of his eyes popped out. Yep. Yep. And then Chris saw everything that happened, and she saw everyone was dead now. And then she just was calling for Rick, and then Rick's body was thrown through the windows, and then Chris saw what happened to him. And then Jason then tried to go after Chris. Yeah, Chris tipped over a bookcase, and all the books came down on Jason. Yeah. And then yeah, I mean, Jason just kept trying to go after Chris. Yeah, at one point, Chris nailed Jason in the back of the head with a shovel, and then he tried. Then she tried to hang Jason. Yeah, but yeah, it didn't kill him. Yeah, she opened the front door to the barn. I don't know, whatever. Jason then pulled off the rope, and then he pulled his mask up, and we actually saw Jason's face. It's really rare that we see his face. Then he tried to go after Chris some more. Yeah, and then one of the bikers actually wasn't killed. He tried to go after Jason, and Jason just cut his hand off, yeah, and then as he was doing a number on him, Chris then got an axe and just nailed Jason in the face with it. Yeah. And then, yeah, And Jason then supposedly dies. Yeah. And then, after that, Chris then just went in a canoe and got on the lake. Then the next morning, it's like she's pretty much just scared of everything. I mean, like, there was like a log or something that hit the canoe, and she started screaming, and there was a duck that flew down to the lake, and she screamed at that, yeah. Then she saw Jason in one of the upstairs windows. She started freaking out. And then the corpse of Jason's mother comes from the lake and pulls Chris in. But it turns out that was just a dream. Then we see the police, and they say that Chris is the only survivor. And yeah, then Chris is just freaking out. She's loaded into the back of a police car, and yeah, she's just complete. Yeah, she's just totally hysterical and disturbed. Yeah. And then it just shows Jason's body on the ground with the axe still in his head. Yeah. Then it just shows the lake. Yeah, and that's how the movie ends. So yeah, like I said, 3 stars out of 4. I did enjoy this movie, yeah. So yeah, that does it for my Friday the 13th Part 3 review. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Right, and yeah, after this, I'm gonna go back to Christmas reviews, yeah? Like I said, this was just a one exception because I wanted to do something special to celebrate Friday the 13th. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.